All right, let's get started. And you on, and that. All right, should be right to go now. All right, yeah, welcome back. Episode 1, second episode though, into pinball development. I've left the stream a bit late, so it's probably going to be another shorter one. Ethan's first, Jimmy Donuts first, Duplex is first. Wait, what? How on earth can 3 of you be first? No way. Jeez, you guys are quick. Like I just went live 2 seconds ago. Yeah, one of these days I'll have to set up some commands for you guys to use. A hose down. Guys, there is a new redemption coming tomorrow night for the mainstream over at Enter Your Initials. It's called Whoop Lord. You can buy it. And basically you dethrone whoever was the Whoop Lord before you. And every time someone buys it, the cost of that redemption goes up and up and up. So basically pay to win. But hey, it's chat union approved, so should be all right. I'm thinking about introducing some other stuff with it too. Yo, Zan, Ro, Keys, Arvin, good to see you guys. Welcome on in. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. So yeah, there's a new redemption coming up next stream in the main channel. Have I ever experienced deja vu? Good Lord, Simon. Oh man, I got a break from that on Friday night. We started swapping our internet over as well, so we've got about a 2-week wait. That should hopefully mean we don't have any more issues like we had Friday. Double Dummy's going to rig it with his 100k points. Well, Pikmin's got 400k, so I think Pikmin might be the Whoop Lord. But there is a cooldown on it. It's like a 10-minute cooldown. So, but I'm thinking of having it so that whoever the Whoop Lord is also gets bonus whoop whenever they run the command. So yeah, there'll be an incentive to be the Whoop Lord. So good, didn't get a break from that Friday night. It sure felt like something that had happened before. Unfortunately, yes. Although this time it went a lot longer. It went way longer this time. It wasn't until after midnight here, before the internet went back to normal. So, yeah, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. But not much I could do. So, I had been planning to do this stream yesterday. I just ran out of time. I was going to do it earlier today. I ran out of time. But I thought, you know what, stuff it. Even if it's just like an hour long tonight. I was going to do like a bit of an overview of some of the hardware stuff that I hadn't talked about much last stream. Have I ever experienced Megaboo? God damn it, man! even in a second channel, I don't get a break. Yeah, so there's 2 things I was going to look at tonight. One's the bug blocking the ball save timer. I was going to give, as I say, a bit of an overview for the physical changes I've made to the game, because I've used to put a lot of this stuff up on my website. So if I can find it. See, look at the last time I updated this. December 28, 2020. It's coming up to 5 years since I last updated this. I used to update this like every month. More important things to do. Using a stream for a reason. Yeah, exactly. Sign out. It's just frustrating, you know. Like if I'm gonna miss a stream, I'd rather it be because I'm like sick or something, you know. Like not because our internet sucks, but make lemonade. Oh dear. But yeah, the frustrating thing is, right, is I spent an hour beforehand trying to set stream up, get it going, and then I spent the next 2 hours after that trying to get things running. So it was like 3 hours of my evening just wasted. But yeah, on the website enteryourinitials.com, I did post up a whole bunch of stuff as I was working on this. quite a while ago. So let's see if I can find it. I just want to highlight a few of the physical changes I've made. So that's the P-Rock board. That one, I actually had a P-Rock board on loan for a while, just from a friend, because I was going to see if I was going to stick with this project or not. And then, I sort of discovered, well, I've got the color DMD I want to use. It's not going to fit where the speaker panel is on the back box, so I'm going to have to do something about that. Yo, Exodia, good to see you, mate. And so then, the board that comes with the color DMD wasn't suitable, so I had to go through this process of building a teensy. Then did some, I made up a new display panel, so I cut up the wood, got some new speakers, speaker mesh, painted it, used some aluminium angle just to sort of give it a bit of a nice finish. My plan is to have like a printed plastic that goes over the top of it, if I ever got to that stage. But yeah, so this was kind of just like a bit of a prototype to see how it come out, and there it is with the color DMD installed, the speaker panels, and so yeah, it sort of came out well. But then enter the next problem. What's that, Sarbit? Your whoop would have been 100% if you're live on Friday. So in the back of PINBOT, right? Yeah, you've got the door, the white panel, where you've got the displays, you've got the lamp, all the lamps. It sits too low, and so the new panel with the speakers and the color DMD, I couldn't close it. So it's okay, right now I've got to actually build a brand new light panel. I think it's called a light panel. But here you can sort of see with the color DMD panel installed. So I got that installed. It's good. It's on hinges, so it just folds down. Similar to the Stern design. Yeah, Duplex, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing this new display field of yours that you've had made up. But yeah, as soon as you get it, man, post photos. So yeah, that was the first step of getting that done. And then you can sort of start to see the process I went through there. Is right, I got this light panel. We don't need the displays on it anymore. I was originally thinking of integrating them into the game, but it was going to be too much work. You ever seen the side of a pinball machine? Yeah, cool, man, cool. So yeah, then I went through the process of creating a similar panel for the back box, but having it shorter. So it used the same hinge system. I went out and bought parts for it, and here you can sort of see it being fit into place, and then finally making sure I can close the DMD panel, and that fits, so that's good to go. One of the things I wanted to do was that scratchy noise. Is that me? I wonder if it's me, moving around. Maybe. I wear feedback. Okay. Is anyone else hearing that? Oh, is it the chair? It might be. It could be the chair. Okay. Damn it, chat. I just have to sit here and not move. It's Itchy's friend making noise. So yeah, one of the key things I wanted to be able to do right is disable the flipper mechs for various points of the game. So for things like high score entry, mode selection, service menu, because with PINBOT, right, it has additional switches on the mechs, like the actual flipper mechs, and that's how it does its lane changes. But I don't. Yeah, that doesn't work for what I want. So I found two unused spots in the switch matrix, which you can see in the image there, the two that are circled red. I bought some parts for additional leaf switches that could go on the inside with the flipper buttons, created some wiring, and then hooked them up. So then every time you'd press the flipper button in, you'd also get that secondary switch fire, and then that I can then use that in code to yeah, have flippers being usable without the mechs actually engaging. I also wanted to do an upgraded sound system too. So this LEPI unit, this was similar to the one they used in Brighter PINBOT 2.0. So I kind of just went with that. What's the mic? It might be something brushing on it. It could be. As soon as I probably start brushing on it, it'll. Let's have a look. Yeah, you know what? What if it's my? What if it's the? What if it's this damn thing? Do that. Maybe that's better. Because I had the cable. Maybe it's the cable. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that was, geez, when did I work on that? 2020, okay. It's stopped now. It could, you could have been right, like that cable was like really close to the microphone. It's so weird having like this chest microphone on. Yeah, I'm so used to having one right in front of me. So yeah, from there, right, PINBOT has like this big mother of a board that does like CPU. It does the solenoids, does the light switches, and so the switches and the lamps and all that. So one of the issues I've got with this project is that the P-Rock board is essentially the CPU and lamps. The systems that it's designed for, you'd have a separate board for your coils, your solenoids. Thankfully, a guy in the UK who did some work on Brighter PINBOT, he developed this board. So this big red board that you see here, he designed this because he's working on an F14 like 2.0 code for that. And so yeah, anyway, this board is there to do the solenoids, and then you have the P-Rock board sitting in beside it. So yeah, it was an extra piece of hardware I had to buy for this project. If you're doing games that were newer than PINBOT, generally wouldn't have this problem. Wonder if it's expensive to get into. It looks fun to try. Yeah, MPF is free, and yeah, as you'll see, Ethan, in a few minutes, I'll start the game up like virtually, so you can actually see it running just on the PC. So a lot of what I do is on the PC, and then I'll bundle up the code and put it onto a physical machine. So you can actually just get into it. MPF is free. And there's, yeah, as Duplex said, there's lots of good tutorials. There's a really good user group as well in Google Groups. You can always ask questions in there, people will answer it. And one of the other things, yeah, so there's I'm just rereading my notes here too. There's a couple of extra connectors I had to put in. So there's my switches back onto the panel, and this was the first time I had it. I had the DMD up and running, and I found it was done upside down. And then the very first time of actually having some code running on the physical machine. So here you can sort of see the PC off to the side. You can see the color DMD running. So it's just running in a track mode. And yeah, like I got to start a game for the first time. It was like I was almost in tears. Like I was so excited that, you know, these basic modes I'd written, I'd been able to set everything up and actually just get it to run my code. It was great. What's MPF? It stands for Mission Pinball Framework. I'll have to put that link into. So it's basically a framework for um, uh, writing 2.0 code. And it's sort of designed in a way that you don't have to necessarily know how to code. A lot of it is in just managing like config files in the YAML format. But if you want to be able to do more detailed things, then you can break down into the Python level. So yeah, at this point, I had it deployed to a physical machine. I could run some stuff, which was cool. I then started playing around with like getting flashes to work. So I ran into a little bit of an issue with the flashes where they would remain locked on. I started playing around with a few ideas for animations on the matrix. I also wanted to make sure I got the service menu switches hooked up too to the PROC board. So all these posts are up on my website too. So if you ever wanted to read more, you can. There's one thing I want to find though. Yeah, here we go. So I did start to put together a bit of a plan for the back panel with the updated panel that I did. So painted it, used Inkscape to kind of plot out where I just wanted flashes to go, where I wanted the CPU controlled inserts, because I think there's 5 or 6 of them that you can put up there. Finally, my PROC board arrived. Then I went through the process of making sure I got all the wiring correct, all the pins connected. And here you can sort of see it now coming together, where I've got the drivers on there, all the inserts, sorry, all the lamps. And here you can see them side by side. Mine's one on the left, the original's on the right. And yeah, so it could then be installed into the game. Gotta love all the cables hanging out. But yeah, that's how it looks. So this is some of the hardware changes I had to do to the game to get PROC, the PROC board running on it, and 2, to have a colored AMD, and 3, to have a new light panel. Because yeah, without making these changes, there just wouldn't have been space to put the colored AMD. And there you go, you can sort of see it running. So yeah, those are the physical changes I made. Everything there's fully reversible as well. So you wouldn't even know if I took all those changes out and reverted it back to a stock PINBOT, you wouldn't even know. So, or serial address lighting. Duplex. Like I haven't done any changes to that, so it is exactly as it was before. All the CPU controlled LEDs there are what you'd normally see on a PINBOT back class, because there was a bunch up there. And I think I might have, if I remember correctly, I might have added a couple as well. If there were a few blank spots on the light matrix. But I know that from memory, this is gone back 5 years. But yeah, PINBOT, when he'll talk to you, there's a couple of inserts that would like flash up, CPU controlled insert or CPU controlled lamps that would flash up as PINBOT talk. So I was thinking of repurposing those for, perhaps like modes or features and things like that I could put onto a custom back glass, because that was the other thing too. The original back glass won't fit in this now, because I had to bring, I had to put a taller panel in there. So because of that, that means I'm going to have to design a custom back glass. So I don't know. And if anyone knows anyone that can do some art for a custom PINBOT back glass, let me know. But yeah, I was thinking I put it into a translite, just as a complete thing, right? To have this beautiful PINBOT 2.0 unique back glass or translite, a nice plastic overlay for where the speaker panel is. Yeah, similar to what the guys did with Dutch Pinball, where they did Brighter PINBOT 2.0. They when you bought the kit for Brighter PINBOT 2.0, you got the display panel with this nice acrylic insert over it, or it just it was good. I liked it. the color DMD is very good. It's one of the interesting things I've found while working on it is, was he sitting on the mic? Imagine. Just because, you know, you say you draw an image, right, and that image looks good in MS Paint or something. When you put it onto a color DMD, it doesn't necessarily translate well. That's one of the things I've sort of, and I still struggle with it at times too, is making sure that the color usage, it needs to not only look good on the PC screen, but also on the color DMD. So yeah, I find that there's times where I'm just like tweaking colors slightly to make things stand out better. Is that why he was muffled? Sounds like my voice is clipping a bit. Oh, okay. I can turn it down. I'm so used to having to talk a lot louder with the other stream. Because with the other stream, with the mic sort of sitting out in front of me, it doesn't pick me up as well. So just naturally being on stream, I feel like I've got to project my voice a lot more. But it's different with this one because it's right here. I could go to a different mic, but I always worry someone's going to walk past and just start talking. All right, so anyway, guys, that gives you a bit of an overview of the physical stuff of PINBOT. And if you want to have more of a read of these, yeah, it's, as I said, it's on the website, anterioriniitials.com, and there's a lot of other stuff there too. So before this, before streaming, before PINBOT 2.0, I used to do a lot of pinball repairs and restoration. So as an example, if I find my Bride of PINBOT, let's see. Now, if I'm smart, I would have put a before and after photo somewhere. So yeah, I used to do things like playfield swaps. This is a couple of photos of how the machine looked when I first got it. The old decals, the old playfield, looked like crap. Sanded all the artwork off, patched it up, sprayed, got the side armor, the legs done up. Then got some new decals on it, new translight. Yeah, so this is all the stuff I used to do. You can sort of see just how nice it looked. Man, that's taking me back. So yeah, you can sort of see how far that that came along. That was a lot of work too, a lot of hours. But yeah, there's that was the photo taken on the first day it arrived. And you sort of see how dull and how plain it looked compared to this. But yeah, that's how I used to spend my time. When was that? 2019. February 2019. If I ever get a pin, could I get a good price on a repair? Well, for me, I don't do that stuff anymore. It can be quite expensive though. Like some of the prices I've seen from people, it can be very expensive. So, dear. I can't believe you guys said I was sitting on my mic. Imagine if I was. Yeah, anyway, so that's, if you're interested in pinball development, pinball repair, pinball restoration, I've got a few years worth of machines that I've worked on. Yeah, it all started with my Nugent, my 79 Nugent. And then yeah, I got to work on like an absolute ton of games. Some of them were mine, some of them are other people's. All right, so anyway, let's run this because I think Ethan hasn't seen it yet. So let's run it. So yeah, should just explain too. So you can see the play field, which is the PINBOT play field. You can see all the squares, which are switches, all the circles, which are inserts. Back over for our display. Alright, so I'll mute the music for now. But yeah, so it has an attract mode. Now if I press the start button, you go into the skill shot.
Detected.
And all that blinking I've got to fix.
Planetary outposts offline.
That's something that changed
Activating PINBOT.
when I migrated to the new version of DEV.
Establishing connection.
So yeah, you can actually click on switches to use them. So for example, if I click on the flipper buttons, I can change which planet that we're going to go to. I won't go into all the details because I did an overview of this in the last stream. But
waiting.
Yeah, if I click on that, and then that's our skill shot done. And then in here you can click on different switches to do different features, like 2x playfield, 2x bonus multiplier, for example. And if I drain, we get the ender ball. Now the bug I need to fix is the ball save not working. So let's replicate it and then we'll go from there.
Connected.
So the ball save is intended to make the game a bit easier.
Connection unstable.
Connection unstable. And it crashes, which I love. I think that's fantastic. The intention was to make it easier, and I've somehow made it impossible to play the game. So yeah, anyway, from that you can probably tell that by clicking different switches, I can simulate as if I was rolling a ball around the playfield, right? So that way, I can design modes, I can design animations, and add callouts and all those sorts of things. Test it here. Then when I'm happy with it, I can bundle all that up, put it onto USB, take it to the physical machine, copy the files on there, and start. Then I've got a PC hooked up to that PINBOT machine, and basically do what you saw me do then, but just run it with a slightly different command line. And then it actually runs. So that attract mode that you saw, you can see it running off on the PC beside, but you also see it on the physical machine. You'll see the color DMD doing the attract mode. You press the start button on the physical machine, you start an actual game. So yeah, like it is really cool. So it's the sort of thing that you can get into and start playing around with. You don't actually have to have a physical machine to do it. So that's kind of cool. And you got like Duplex here in chat, he's actually retheming a game. So he's retheming a game called Bad Girls, but he's rethemed it, I think, to They Live, if I'm remembering that correctly. So yeah, like you can retheme a game as well. Yeah, there's sort of no limit, right? You can decide what you want the theme to be, what you want the switches to do, what the modes are going to be, the callouts, the music. So like all the music and all the audio and stuff, I've bought that, so I've got licenses to use it. The female voice you hear there, that's Pikmin. She did some voice work for me. So yeah, there's it's kind of cool. You can really get creative and play around with it. But anyway, I want to look at this bug, and I know what's causing it. I'm using this style name that doesn't exist. I've got to find out why it doesn't exist. I have a feeling like this bug's been there since I last looked at it, which is years ago. I suspect I had an intention to add it, and I just never did. Because yeah, I can see it listed all through the shows. It's all log files, and yeah, so here it is in the show generator. Wait, let me put the music back on. I gotta remember that. I gotta remember to switch the music back on as we get out of the game. Yeah, so my show generators are using it, but it's not actually defined anywhere. So that's the problem. The question is, what was I trying to do with it? I wish I could go back and ask the me from a couple of years ago. I actually wonder if I must have had it in there because it was working. I must have just deleted it. It's all through that show, but it's not. It's not actually defined. So yeah, so I know that that's an animated GIF. I know it's working with that. So let's have a look. And that's the ball save signal. So the actual image exists. A lot of the animations too that you see are generally just placeholders. I sort of got to a point where I was just like adding, like, hey, could I add a feature like super pops? Could I add a 2x bonus multiplier? Could I add playfield multipliers? Could I add like a hurry up type mode? So it's the game's got like a whole bunch of different features, but it doesn't necessarily tie everything together with a big plan. So that's kind of where I got a bit stuck a few years ago when I stopped working on it. It was like I need some inspiration, and I did have a plan for it. Like a big layout. So this is sort of something I was putting together back when I was looking at it, right? You go from the startup to your track mode, got your service menu, then you've got a bit of a flow into the gameplay, and then you've got like where I was thinking about different modes and different features that you would have in the game. So, and as I was like putting all this together, I couldn't there is a story to this game, right? You got to go. Oh, good, sign out, man. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for dropping in, Joe. Good to see you, man. I hope you're well. So yeah, like there has been quite a bit of work put into trying to tie it together. I just lost, I guess, motivation with it. But that's the whole point of these streams now, right? Is to try and give myself a bit of a push back into the project, and so I definitely want to pick it up again. So I think there'll be some streams where I probably just start going through this, and I'm open for you guys too to share any thoughts or any ideas. We do have a channel on Discord for it, but people seem to behave. Good as do from a single mod. Oh, I think Pikmin's heading off to sleep, but don't sweat, man. Don't sweat. Get a gameplay stream soon, Ethan. I do plan to do one at some point, but it won't be until the project's like back together again, in terms of like on the right track. Maybe what you might see more of is perhaps like a video, like a YouTube video where you'll see me playing the game, and I'll do a bit more of the talk about it. But the plan is though, right, that if I can get back into the project, I can get it started up again and make some good progress, then yeah, it won't be one of my regular streams. It'll be a stream on this channel, but it will be playing the game on the physical machine, so you can actually see it, because it is very satisfying. Like, not gonna lie, like when you take this code and put it onto a physical machine and then you get to play what you just made, it's a really good feeling. It's awesome when you actually standing in front of the machine and get to experience it. So the downside of that course is that sometimes, you'll design up a mode, you think, man, I've got this great idea, we're going to do this, then we're going to do that, it's going to make this sound effect, and we're going to put up this animation. And then you put all that time into it and you do it, and you stand in front of the machine and you play it and you go, yeah, this sucks. It's like, why did I just spend all that time doing it? But that's part of it. That's part of it, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Chat, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm not going to fix this bug. So this widget style needs to exist. I assume I still wanted it. I did actually have a look back through the source code. I thought maybe I deleted it, but no, I didn't delete it. It just never existed. So let's have a look. So it's in the ball save mode. So there's something to keep in mind too, guys. There's a lot of stuff in this game when you're designing it. It's around modes, and modes don't just define, say like a mode in a game, like say a skill shot, for example. Skill shot is a mode. But you've also got, say, super pops. If you hit the pop bumpers X number of times, you boost the scoring on it. That too can be a mode. It doesn't have to be like a self-contained mini mode that you would see in a game. Modes are used for lots and lots of different things. Even things like service menu. Service menus are different modes. Like high score entry. What else we got? Ball save. There's so many different things that you actually just put into a mode, and you can have like lots of different modes running at the same time too. And yeah, there'll be some that you want to play with a higher priority, for example, so you can set priorities. But yeah, a lot you define a lot of different modes as you're going. So in here we can sort of see I've got two shows for the ball save. I've got the display show. So the display show is what you'll see on the color DMD. And this is what they call YAML, a YAML file. So it's just configuration. So here I'm talk about putting up a slide on the display, some widgets that go with it, so different images, and those images, you can set different styles, positions, and even animations on them too. You also define like light shows as well. So say for example, if you wanted to do like a sweeping type effect on all the playfield inserts, you define it in a similar sort of manner where at certain steps or for certain durations, you'll turn this set of inserts on, and it'll go to the next step, and it might turn a different set on and turn some of the others off. That sort of thing. Yeah, Ethan, good question. I didn't even see that, but yeah, already talking about it. Yeah, so you make your own light shows too. So those light shows sit in their own files, and so you can have those run at the same time as the display shows. You can have them run without a display show. You might just let's say for example you hit a jackpot shot, right? You flash up jackpot on the screen. You may also want to run a series of different light animations. So can't stay away. Oh, good, Pikmin. Have a good sleep. Thank you for being here. I'm stoked that so many people, you guys are actually turning up to watch this. I haven't even done anything yet. I feel bad. We'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah. Anyway, so the light show is not the problem here. The problem is this. So, and I think I'm going to have to rejig these shows at some point anyway, because there was something that changed when I migrated to the latest version of MPF, and it's now causing a lot of flickering in a lot of my shows. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at it. All right, so with that in mind, I'm curious. Have I got any styles? No, so that's our event player, our sound player. Yeah, chat. It's been years since I looked at this. It kind of it's that thing like I look at it and go, it looks familiar. My God, what was I doing? Okay. I wonder if I started defining widget styles elsewhere. Widget styles, let's have a look. Okay, I did. But I haven't defined it in here. It says a track mode, bonus, service. So the thing with widget styles, right, is if you've got, say, a widget, could be, say, an image, or, you know, say maybe a set of different images, but they all have the same properties, right? Maybe the same X position, Y position, same animation, that sort of stuff. You can define a widget style, and then instead of having to constantly define the same set of properties, you know, for say 10 different widgets, all having the exact same properties, you can put all those properties into a widget style, and then just give it that widget style. So it's sort of it's kind of nice like that, where you can then shrink a lot of that code, a lot of those config values down. So there's our skill shot. It's not planet selection, bonus multiplier. Okay, so it's just not in here at all. Alright, what if we add it in for now? You know what, we're just going to do this for now. So I can't remember where it was supposed to be or what it was supposed to look like. But I'm actually wondering, because usually when I work on a mode, I'll actually define, like for example, if it's got a display that goes with it, like the ball save, I'll actually define like a bit of a template of how it should look. And I'm wondering if I've done that, then I'll have a bit of an idea of what it should, you know, what attributes it should have. So let's have a look. Probably under resources, ball save. Yeah, here we go. So this is, I guess, when I was thinking about how the ball save display should look. I can already see there. There's our image that we're talking about here. So, with that in mind, let's open up good old MS Paint. I actually wanted to start switching across to using what's it called? Sprite. But I haven't done that just yet. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, so that widget in question is this one here. So yeah, so there's all our flames. Okay. So we work out what size that is. 64 by 7. Okay. Okay. So with that in mind, how far across do we use it? So we do it 29 from the left. 5 from the bottom. Let's say left plus bottom. No, bottom class, what do you say, 5. Okay. I can't remember if I need to set the FPS because it is an animated GIF. Like, let's set that for now. Alright, so with that in mind, let's run it again. Mute the music and let's go.
System corruption detected. Planetary outpost.
And I did have a way to skip this intro.
Activating PINBOT.
That's one of the annoying things.
Establishing connection.
You want to test something in the game, I gotta go through the intro every time. I remember I coded something in to skip it, but it's been a while.
Connected.
Alright, so now we want to test the ball save.
Connection unstable. Ball saved.
Yeah, there we go. Good. Launch. Okay. Bugs fixed. Excellent. And again, we're out.
Player 1. Establishing connection.
We'll just test it again. Now, I did actually start implementing one of the planet modes. Because the idea is, right, with the planet modes, I want, the original PINBOT, you would,
Waiting.
you just advance through the modes, sorry, through the planets one by one. There was no modes assigned to it. But with the game I'm doing, I want each planet to be a different mode.
Waiting.
And ideally, I'd like players to have a reason to choose different planets, right? I like, you guys have heard me probably talk on games, on stream before, right, about games I like, the ones that give you, as the player, a choice. Yeah, if it's Jurassic Park, you choose which way you go through the park. If it's Mando, you choose what you buy from the foundry. Venom, you choose your host, and that sort of thing. So I kind of want to bring those sorts of concepts into this game, where you can choose what planet to go to, but you can't necessarily just always choose the same planet, for example. Like it's going to depend on I think I want to limit the player from maybe perhaps going to 1 or 2 planets, and then based on which planet they've chosen, that will open up a pathway to the next 2 planets. Or if they'd chosen the other planet, then the other, it basically means that you will eventually get to all planets, but based on the choices you make as to which path you go, you will have a slightly different gameplay experience each time. And those to me are the games that are the best, where it's not always just I'm going to go to this planet because I know it's got the highest scoring. You can go there, but you've got to trade off. There's going to be a trade-off of how you get there, or after you've done that, there's a trade-off of where you can go next. I like that sort of stuff. And this game does have a story. It ties directly into Brighter PINBOT, which is a game that comes after this in the PINBOT series. And ideally, I want to have at least two different endings for the game. So even if you beat the game, you've still got a reason to go back and try and experience the second or the third ending. So if we just drain straight away.
Connection unstable. Ball
Beautiful.
saved.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that actually worked. Good. And so I can muck around here. Get some switches. There is a mystery feature. There's like 3 really out of the way switches. There's one hidden down here. There's one on the left. And another one higher up on the left. Then, if you hit the scoop, you get a mystery award. And and then pop the ball back out into play. Yeah, good. Now we'll see if we get a high score. No, we did not. Oh, interesting. That screen shouldn't have come up. That's something else I'll have to look at.
Connected.
This is the. I was talking earlier about super pops. So if you hit the pops enough times, changes the sound effect. Go out. Then we got our naming. So yeah, this is where the hardware changes I made come into play, because now I can use the flipper buttons on the physical machine without the flippers being active. There we go. And it might not be obvious, but it's scrolling the words "well done" across the chess matrix. I want to bring that chess matrix into the game in a different way. Yeah, with the original Pinbot, right? It's just about hitting the 5 bank directly in front of you, or the 5 bank off to the right. Fill up the chess matrix, visor opens up, you lock the two balls up for multi-ball. I want it to be more than that. I want that. I see that chess matrix as being a way to do almost like an interactive video mode, where perhaps you could almost have like a little Tetris mini game on there. I want it to be more about accurate shooting, to advanced features tied to that chess matrix. I don't want the chess matrix to be about hit those targets X number of times just to open up the visor. We'll bring the visor and the two locks in as a multi-ball, of course, but we'll do it in a different way that's a bit more interesting. So yeah, okay, that's good. I'm glad we got that fixed. I thought it was going to be more complicated. All right, how are we looking for time? Jeez, it's almost been an hour. I talk too much. All right. So with that in mind, what is that? Coming back to here. And one thing I will show you guys too, right, is I've got a show player, well, not show player, a show generator that I've been working on. And I actually used it for play a small game of Snake. Yeah, Jimmy, now you're thinking, man. See, like all those sorts of things, right? Like I want to be able to do more interesting things with that chess matrix, and even have that chess matrix tied to the color DMD, right? Like have some stuff happening on the color DMD that then falls down onto that chess matrix. I almost see it even as something like, say, like Invaders, or Space Invaders. I don't know if you guys have played the game Counterforce, the pinball machine Counterforce, where you've got missiles coming in, and like there's like rows of them, and you've got to be hitting the drop targets to destroy the missiles before they hit your base. I love that concept. Like that's so cool. Counterforce is one of those really cool games, and I'd love to do something like that as well with this. But to be able to do something like that, you need to then think about dropping down to like the Python level. You could probably do it with MPF. Like, it's pretty flexible. Even at this like upper layer, it's pretty flexible. But I think it would probably be easier to be working at the Python level for something a bit more advanced. One of the spots you go to's got a PINBOT. Yeah, give it a go, man. Like, it's a tough game. It's a brutal 80s game, but it's got this cool space theme. It's got cool music. It's got call outs. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot to really do in it. From from a gameplay wise perspective. And that's why I'd like to do something like this, because it'd be good to, as you've seen, add a color DMD, add different modes to it, add modes like bring it up to like a more 90s era game, which is what Dutch Pinball did with Brighter Pinbot. Brighter Pinbot in terms of rule set doesn't really have a lot to do. People just try and spam the billion point shot, and that was basically it. But yeah, Dutch Pinball suddenly turned all the inner circle inserts, they all became individual modes. Then when you completed one of those, then you could do one of the inserts on the outer wheel, which is worth a lot more points. And then you keep going until you completed all the modes. Then they had different multi-balls along the way. So they sort of did a really good job to bring that game up to a DMD era game. So, and that's I think Pinbot's kind of primed for that. But yeah, Pinbot was the first game I went and hunted to buy many years ago. Not so much these days. I like the newer games. I like the new Sterns. All right. So what was I was going to do something. What was I doing? All right, so we got that sorted. That's what I was going to show you the. I don't remember what I was going to do now. So the animations that you guys have seen on my main stream, right, on the your initial stream, where if you got a new follower, sub, give sub, the little DMD animation that plays, that was all done. It was eventually generated here in MPF, but I have a show generator that generates each one of those frames. I then capture it from MPF and convert it into an animated GIF to play on stream. But each one, if you've had a close look at them, you'll see there's like lots of different objects, lots of different sprites moving around doing different things. And like to try and hand edit that is a nightmare. So what I ended up doing, let's see if I can find one. Generate Lemshow. I think Lemshow was the actually new sub. So new sub is the one where is the Mortal Kombat one, right? So this stuff is all written in PHP. For no reason other than PHP is what I use most days of my life. So it does everything I need it to do. So here, I can just find all sorts of different movements. I can set up, say, a sprite, and I wanted to move it in a certain direction over a certain number of frames. You can set up animations as well, for example. So if I've got a sprite that, like say if someone's walking, maybe they'll have 4 or 5 frames of animation as part of that walk, and then it loops. I can set that up in here. I can give it the template for the images that it's going to use, the start frame, how many frames to loop for, how often it should update the frames, all those sorts of things. So a lot of this is like config driven at this point. And then eventually it'll come down to something like this, where I'll create it. The final goal is to create a show. So I'll start adding the widgets to that show. And then I can do I can just render out sequences, and that sequence might be for the next 10 frames. I have these widgets that I want to move. I've given them all different movement properties. I just want them to run, and then this render sequence will actually do all those frames for me. And then if I want to, say for example, adjust it, let's say I realize that one of my sprites is the X position isn't right. I can just change that one, the X position value, rerun this, it'll generate the entire show. I don't have to touch anything else. I don't have to scroll through frames of show data or show configuration to tweak it, because that's how I originally started doing all these shows. Right, it was, all right, well, I want to put this object here, I want to put this image here, I want to do this light show at this time, and then after 5 frames I want to change this other thing. It's a nightmare to try and like do anything complex, other than put something simple like some text on the screen. So yeah, eventually over time, as I was doing the different animations for the stream, for the EYI stream, I started to refine this process of generating shows to the point where it now became just a lot of configuration and setting up properties, then render sequence, setting up some more properties, render sequence, over and over, and that's what we end up with. I'm curious if I've still got. I might not have it all in here. I might not have. It might be on my main PC. But I have all the different frames, for example, that get output. Yeah, actually probably on my main PC. And then you can sort of see what actually gets generated. So if I go to, yeah, no, it's on there. I can't show what the output looks like. But yeah, the whole concept though is to create this system that allows me to do more complex animations, whether it's just a sprite that has multiple frames of animation. Maybe I want him to do his walk animation while moving in a certain direction across the screen. I can just give him those properties and he'll do it, which is a lot of what you see here with like entities and vectors. It's a library that I'll put together to allow me to do it. So it's almost actually, if I had to describe it, it's almost at like a level of game development, where I'm setting up like an entity, which, think of it like, say, a player entity in a game, and that player entity has animations that play when he walks. It's got movement properties, like how fast they move, what direction they move, how their animation updates while they're moving, all those sorts of things. So that's really, like, developing this system's been really good for creating shows, because it means I can do more complex style animations with just having to tweak values. Because you can sort of see a lot of the show generations here. This is how it used to be, whereas a lot of what I found was, like, I'd do a show generator and it'd be custom code every single time. Then I'd copy and paste to the next show that I needed to generate. Say I wanted to do the ball save show, I'd copy and paste the code I did for the skill shot show, and then customize it. And what I found was, through a lot of that, I started coming across common things that I wanted to do. So common animations, movement animations, movement code, all that sort of stuff, and that's what I started putting into that library. So, yeah, man, it's funny. It's funny looking at this stuff. I haven't looked at this for so long, but yeah, it's bringing back memories. But yeah, all those show generators, as I said, I do it in PHP because PHP is what I use every day. I have access to all, the file system. most it's got a huge library of functions that I don't have to think about. Like it's like overkill in terms of like the size the size of having PHP installed just for that, but I have it installed anyway. And like with anything you do, right? There's no right or wrong. You use the technology that is best for you to achieve your goal. Like I've been using MS Paint to do a lot of the images. Yeah, there'd be people who sort of frown upon using that, but it works. It's easy to use. So, not sure there's much else. Those are the main things. The two key things I wanted to do tonight. I wanted to use this stream to give you guys an overview of the physical changes to the machine, and I wanted to fix that bug, which I've done. What is the time? Yeah, it's 11:30. All right, I might actually end it there, guys. It is getting late. I want to do a longer dev stream. I need to start earlier. But yeah, as I was saying earlier at the start of stream, I've had such a busy weekend. Hickman and I are rejigging a lot of the rooms at our house. So yeah, like yesterday was spent painting part of the kitchen area. Today was putting together some furniture and things like that. So yeah, it's good. It's been fun bringing those, just getting those projects up and running. But yeah, it meant this stream I kept pushing back. I was going to do this stream last weekend, but yeah, I kept pushing it back. But that's all right. That's good. And I wonder what changes have I got. Yeah, that's nothing. Just updating version numbers. There's our fix. I was looking at how to fix the actually that's the other thing I was looking at fixing too, because I need to fix that flashing, and I found a way to do it. But I wasn't convinced that was the proper solution, but I can sort of talk more about that, I guess, in the next stream. But essentially, what I was doing was between, actually, I'll show you. If I go to, we go to our skill shop note, skill shop award, I should say. This one. Actually, yeah. So each what I was a bad habit of what I was doing was updating the main image every single time, like every step of the show. And what that's ended up doing now is causing this blinking effect between those frames, which is not good. That's not what we want. My idea is essentially to create a show that was a series of, say, I don't know, 20, 30 frames, generated frames, and then just each frame of that show just display the next image. But it was doing it, the way in which it was doing it was causing this blinking effect ever since I upgraded to it was MPF 0.57, I think. Have a look. Yeah, when I migrated to 0.57, yeah, it's had this unfortunate effect now where, yeah, it's just getting this blinking effect. So I either need to rejig how I generate the shows, or I need to have a different approach for updating those images each frame. So that's probably something I'll start to look at a bit more in the next stream. Alright. So yeah, look guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys just dropping in to hang out. I will endeavor to do a longer stream next weekend. And what I'll try and do too is I'll actually have more of a plan coming into the stream, like with a to-do list of everything that I want to look at. Tonight was more just, use this as a way to give people an overview of physical changes, fix that bug, and then if anything else came up as I was having a look at it, we could go into it. But yeah, all right, guys, thanks so much. So this is the second stream, and yeah, I will try and do another one of these streams next weekend. I'll try and make sure it's longer, and I'll aim to have a few extra things to go into as well. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Fingers crossed, I'll be back for tomorrow night's stream on the regular channel, on Enter Your Initials. So provided the internet's okay, we'll be good to go. We'll be doing Jurassic Park. It's the final night of the leaderboards for Jurassic Park. So yeah, we'll see if we can climb that leaderboard again. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good Monday. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.